I'd like to call the meeting to order for the regular council meeting from District of Chetwynd. Do we have the opening statement read, please?
As we gather today on the traditional territory of the Chetwynd Nations to conduct the business of the District of Chetwynd, we do so knowing that we are privileged to serve the citizens of this community, and we shall endeavor to conduct our business in the best interest. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to address council and the rest, this is citizens of Chetwynd on today, recognizing that it is Red Dress Day, and Indigenous girls and women are 4 times more likely to be murdered in Canada. And today is to recognize that and to push it forward so that we all recognize that this is a crisis in for our women. And we only have 4.3% of people in Canada are Indigenous. So when we have this proportion of ladies, women, young kids, aunties, moms being killed and being taken from their families, is distressing. And I'd just like to say that we understand, I understand. If you don't understand, have a research, some little research on it and decide what you have in mind, because we all need help, and we need to be able to understand one another when we do step up to help. So thank you very much for that. And come to know. And I speak my language because today the Indigenous women need my respect and need others' respect. Thank you. And if we hurry up, I could get to a walk, or we could all go and walk, or the young ladies and ladies that have gone. Okay, prior to adoption of the agenda, is there any new business from council or staff? Staff?
I do have one new business item, community fire ban.
Okay. New business? Any other new business from council? Staff? Okay. Okay, there isn't any other adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Carried. Minutes of the regular council meeting held on April 22nd, 2025.
Motion to receive. Second.
Okay, any omissions? Council, staff? Okay, all those in favor? Carried. Delegations. Jennifer Moore, Northeast Regional Community Foundation. Read the Growing a Lasting Legacy. Okay, Jennifer.
Hello. Do I need to do anything or?
Yep. There you go.
Okay, we're good.
We'll stay in front of you with the driver.
Well, let's see if I can manage to make it work. Thank you for having me on behalf of the Board of Directors for the Northeast Regional Community Foundation. It's our great pleasure to come and give you a bit of an update on the foundation and why you're hearing from us. You'll probably notice that there's a few familiar faces here in the gallery. Last year, the Chetwynd Community Foundation rolled their funds in with the Northeast BC Community Foundation to help streamline things a little bit. There's considerable work that goes into managing a charity, and we were happy to support their cause. I know that there were some pressure points. Pastor Bill and I have become good friends over this transition period. Where am I pointing?
It's behind you. It should pick it up anyway.
Is there an on button on here?
So Jennifer, how many volunteers do you have right now?
Oh, okay, we're good.
How many volunteers do you have?
I have 4 volunteer board of directors. We're a growing organization that's getting our feet underneath us. In the land of community foundations, we're actually quite young. The Winnipeg Foundation is actually the oldest in Canada, and we're part of a network of community foundations. So
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
So just a little background on what a community foundation. Oh, and I'm the executive director. I'm like super part-time. And that's, part of our finances is we're growing into a place where hopefully we can have a full-time staff complement. So Community Foundation is a charity. It's a registered nonprofit dedicated to growing our communities and supporting the great work that organizations in our communities do to support the members of our community that are trying to make our communities great places to live, in addition to supporting the members of our community that need a little bit of a hand up. We have volunteers. I said we have 4 volunteer board members who dedicate their time, their leadership, their networks to help us finance, i.e. through grants, some of those local initiatives. Another part of the work that we do as a community foundation is to support those organizations. It's not always just about money. Although I will say that that is the plight of the nonprofit, is constantly seeking the next funding to advance organizational nonprofit mandates. But sometimes they need like organizational support. How can we set up, what are the rules around societies? How can we write better grant applications? I actually spent a lot of time supporting organizations in writing grant applications. Thank you. There we go. So the Northeast Community Foundation started in 2009. We deposited the first check in 2009. So we've got a little over 15 years under our belt. The foundation was started with a number of endowment funds, community funds, that capitalized on a program run through Northern Development that did matching funds up to $50,000. So if a community put in $50,000, Northern Development would put in $50,000. So when we started, we had funds from Taylor, Hudson's Hope, Fort St. John, Dawson Creek, and Pooskoopie. Fort St. John has since pulled theirs and started the Northeast Community Foundation. But we still hold funds in those for those other communities, and Chetwynd joined us last year. The goal is to enrich the quality of life and, like I said, really enhance the work that these organizations are doing to support the great communities that we know and love. So we have a volunteer board of directors. We have quarterly meetings. We try to have representation from across the region. We live in different places, and there's no better representative than someone who understands your local community. I'm like I said, a part-time executive director, and Community Futures Peacely Art in Dawson Creek has graciously given us some office space and support us through managing our finances for us. And as a charity, we do audited financial statements each year. And I'm here to tell you that is not an inexpensive endeavor. So we have 3 main areas that we focus on. We provide grants. We do 2 intakes of grants a year. Submission deadlines the 15th of February and then the 15th of September. Sometimes we used to just have an annual grant intake. And oftentimes organizations weren't ready or they missed the deadline, and a year is a really long time between those intakes. We also work on managing and growing our funds. So I will tell you that I'm not logging in to our investment account right now because my blood pressure doesn't need the spike. But we've got approximately $700,000 in our investment fund between our community endowment funds. And we hold an additional fund that a nonprofit started in 2023 with us that supports educational endeavors for women across the region. And then the last part is community involvement. So we want to be involved. We want to know what your community is doing. We want to know what's important. There's no better way for us to support your community than to understand that. So the numbers, not quite as emotional as some of the stories that I hear. But since we started giving money out in 2015, CRA allows you a little bit of a window to deposit the money into your investment accounts and lets it work for you a little bit before you have to start giving money out. So we've given out north of $500,000 across the region. We've supported 59 projects. 15 years, I already said that. We have 6 endowment funds. We've created 4 flow-through accounts, in particular here in Chetwynd. Yvonne Eldon's family set up a memorial fund when she passed away. And so donations were made to that fund and then forwarded to the library because that was important to her. So that's a great legacy in her name. And apparently I was a little light on saying about 700,000. So I'm not kidding when I say I don't want to log in. My personal investment statements, I just put the sealed envelopes in the drawer these days. We've had the Chetwynd Fund for a little over a year. And like I said, Bill and I have worked very closely together to make this transition. So we gave out our first grant in Chetwynd last fall. And the current value of that fund is approximately $116,000. Now we do our annual update. When we do the audit, we have our accountant do the annual update. So that number will grow depending on what the value of those accounts was at the end of the year, because it was working for us over the course of the year. So I will tell you that the project that was supported was the playground with the Little Prairie Heritage Society. So I don't think they've built it yet. I think that was a this year plan. So I would be remiss if I didn't tell you a little bit about the foundation and the opportunity that it creates for locals. We can create funds for individuals, for organizations, for businesses, employee groups. Causes can be set by the donor. I'm working with the Rotary Club in Dawson Creek to set up an opportunity for their members to name the foundation and that particular fund when they're doing their estate planning. So their dollars will stay local versus going away to other very worthy organizations, but less local in their impact. We take care of all of the pieces. We invest the money. We have a very responsive fund manager who I have on speed dial. And we do the reporting. We manage the granting and the applications, and we support the community organizations in their grant applications. And really, the endowment fund option is a way the intention is that we never touch the principal, that we only ever give out the investment income that's been made off of it. So it truly does leave a lasting legacy. So I have a couple of asks of you. And the reason I'm here asking the district is it was with the Chetwynd Community Foundation, and they've rolled the dollars over to us. Since you were the original donor, this is why we are here now. So the first one is we are looking for a Chetwynd rep on our board. We encourage community members who are well connected to put their name forward. And as I said before, quarterly meetings, lots of times via Zoom. The technology is working in our favor. And the second request is that we update the District of Chetwynd website to reflect the Community Foundation is now the portal for applications. Does anyone have any questions?
Council? Wait, Councilor Ward?
I'm just wondering if you can share some of the, even if you had 59 projects that you contributed to. Our area.
In Chetwynd?
Well, I think there's only one in China.
There's only one in Chetwynd. So I will tell you that of recent, now I've been with the foundation just shy of 2 years. So my knowledge before that is limited to what was in the files. We've supported a number of food bank initiatives in recent years. Devastating that we have the demand for food banks in our communities that we do, but that's an important piece. If people's tummies aren't full, the other pieces are not nearly as important. We've worked with there were a number of funds like the Community Prosperity Fund, which was a provincial fund that was given, a chunk of it was given to us to distribute locally. Funded all of the COVID funding, like the emergency response funding, the community services recovery funding. They all have crazy acronyms. Anyways, those funds were given to us, a chunk of them were given to us to distribute locally. So supported a lot of nonprofits through that window when people were trying to figure out how to keep their lights on. There's our most recent funding window. We granted some money to some an accessible playground in Puscoopi. Some support of March of Dimes, which is not a local organization, but has some local impact in supporting people in stroke recovery. Really, it's how do we improve the community for the members of our community and try and spread it out across a variety of initiatives. We've supported community gardens.
Thank you.
A little bit of everything.
Okay, go ahead, Councilor.
So the current fund value is 116 for the Chetwynd endowment fund. What is the original endowment? Like, what's the baseline that you don't go after that the investments on the endowment?
So the original investment would have been $100,000, 50 from the District of Chetwynd and 50 from Northern Development. The Chetwynd Community Foundation invested that money and let it grow a little bit. And then when they closed theirs, they transferred over to us. I will tell you that Bill brought me a check for the final balance. When we transferred the account, we left a little bit for any close-up expenses. So that we're happy to report it's all done now. And so there was the final check. So that should be going to the bank. If it hasn't already, it'll be going to the bank. So my expectation is that value today is probably closer to 125, upwards to 130.
Councilor?
Just going off Constable or Councillor Work's question, was there just one time that Chetwynd was supported by this fund?
Yes, because the fund has only been with the community foundation, with the Northeast Community Foundation since January of last year.
Okay, and where did that go? Like, what? Like,
It went to the Little Prairie Heritage Society.
Any other questions? Okay. Okay, thank you, Jen. Oh, one more, Councilor Ward.
So you're looking for a suggestion on a board member. Is our friend Pastor Bill a board member?
I have been working him hard.
I'm looking for a technical representative, which you don't really have.
That's right. We have representatives from Fort St. John, which is more of a regional representative. They just happen to be located in Fort St. John, Puscoopi, and Dawson Creek. Yeah. I'm trying to do all the heavy lifting for the board, so all I really have to do is read the package and show up.
Perfect. Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Okay, District Chetwynd Financial Plan, bylaw, Plan 2025 to 2029, bylaw number 1184, 2025 requires adoption.
Motion to adopt.
Any discussion on it? Not seeing any. All those in favor? Carried. Any opposed? Okay, go. That's carried. Bylaw number 2, the District of Chetwynd 2025 tax rate. Bylaw number 1185, 2025 requires adoption. Motion to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor? Opposed? That passes. Committee reports. Any reports?
I'm just
Councilor Dick?
for just a quick one for the Senior Citizens Housing Society. Both places are full, Little Prairie and Swears, and the recycling is starting to get used a little bit more as well at Swears place.
Councilor McDonald?
I just have a couple of date reminders for a couple of my council appointments. So the Southern East Crime Prevention Society is hosting a charity golf tournament on May 24th. They are going to have a sound auction in the as well. The Chetwynd International Chainsaw Carving Championship is coming up on June 5th.
Okay, any other reports? Not hearing any, so to adopt or accept reports as is.
Motion to receive. For all reports.
Second? Second. Yeah. Councilor Ward got that. Thank you. Okay, all those in favor? Carry. No discussion, no correspondence. Information items. Reports for action, RA1, facade improvement application.
I'll make a motion that council authorize the facade improvement program application for Chetwynd Baptist Church, 427 53rd Street, Chetwynd, PC, and authorize the mayor for the officer to execute for partnering for the agreement with Chetwynd Baptist Church, 482 53rd Street, Chetwynd, PC, and, excuse me, and approve the issuance of development permit number 02-2025 to Chetwynd Baptist Church, address 4827 53rd Street, parcel A, block 2, plan PG 15224, district lot 398, Pittsburgh, Rhode Island, district, being a consolidation of lots 2 to 6, inclusive PID 029-512-701.
I was second.
Staff?
Yeah, we have, unfortunately, there's a point of order. There's a typo that we all missed somehow, and I apologize for this. Where it says 4827, it should be 4817. Anywhere you see on the motion 4827, just change it to 4817, and then the motion stands. Is that it? And again, our apologies for that. We all missed it somehow today.
Okay, council, you good? Okay. Hey, all those in favor? Go with the question. Go ahead, Councilor McDonald.
I'm just curious about the eligibility criteria.
I'm sorry, it's loud, but I couldn't quite make out what you said.
No, just eligibility criteria. Is there a certain eligibility criteria? Like we have, I see that a church is from our country, but they are still pushing property, so they are still eligible for this. Is there a certain eligibility criteria for the facade improvement program?
Yes, there is. They have to go through the whole application process for it. Basically, they qualify. Ellen is the economic development officer, reviews all the applications. It goes through the process. It gets approved by government at the end of it. So, yeah, there's a lot of rules on who can apply to a business, because who can apply and can't, and if they qualify or don't. Does that answer your question? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you'd be able to find all the information through the CAO and distribute it, because it's so we can find it. Okay. All those in favor? Carried. All right, to demolition of the Chetwynd Public Library.
The motion that council award the demolition of the Chetwynd Public Library to clear the demolition limited in the amount of $89,590.
Just a point prior to, we just built a library, we're not gonna destroy the new library. It's the old existing library that should have been put on here, so we are not taking down the new library. Okay?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on that besides taking down the old library? Go ahead, Councilor Smith.
I know that the big price and then it's selling here, even if the, tipping wasn't, even if your need was still be in our budget, if I didn't see in here what was the authorized budget.
The all-in budget that we had for this year is 300,000 for everything, demolition, disposal, and works.
Thank you.
Any others? Go ahead, Councilor McDonald.
Is there a scheduled timeframe for the demolition?
Very soon, they hope to start work by early next week, I believe, and start the demolition process. Fortis Gas was disconnecting the gas, I believe today, or was it last week? We're done? Yeah, okay, so that was kind of the last hurdle for the demolition. The contractor's eager to get going on it, and it's anticipated to be totally complete before chainsaw ready.
Okay. Okay. All those in favor?
Sorry, may I?
Okay, one more question. Go ahead, Councilor Nelson.
Sorry, a little tardy on that, but so I'm looking at this budget and going, congratulations to us. We got a bid significantly lower than, the highest, like this spread is really kind of interesting to look at. What happens when this Clearview demolition comes back to us and says, oh, we underbid and actually we need some more money? Can they kind of spend upwards to our total budget of 300,000? Or are they absolutely capped at that number? I just have seen some projects go over budget, and I really question what happens there between that bid price that's accepted and the change order that allows them to go over and then supersede other bidders who did not get accepted.
Just wanted to say of myself, due diligence is part of what we do and what we look at when the staff go to these procurement state, so that we do that final stage of looking at each contract and who and where they're from. But I will let CAO fill in the rest.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, it's a contract. It's a low bid. It's also a 30-year company with a really good reputation. They've done this work before. They're comfortable making the bid the way it is. They might have other projects in the area, which allow them because of travel. There's all kinds of reasons why bid comes in low. Bid that's super high, sometimes the company might not need the work horribly bad, but if people are willing to spend enough, they'll come in and do it. There can often be a wide range. That's why the project budget was as robust as it is. Any change orders on the contract goes through a change order process. So it's approved by the proponent, and it would have to be something really drastically unforeseen in this case. The contractor, there was a site visit, the contractors that bid on it went through the whole building. There's not a lot of surprises in it. They know the age, they know what's in there, they've been under it, they've been on it, they've been in it. And so there should not be any surprises. I understand that we see a lot of projects that do go over, but they're often larger in scope and there's a lot more gray areas on them. This is fairly cut and dry. This is not a huge building. They should be able to come in, knock it down, pick it up. It's not gonna take a long time either. I think people will be surprised with how fast it leaves us. Does that help you?
Thank you, yes.
Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor? Okay. New business. CAO.
Thank you, Your Worship. As everybody in the community is no doubt aware, fire season has taken off in a really major way. The fire chief and I had a discussion this afternoon. He put out a surprisingly large number of small fires over the last few days in our community. And he's asked for council support in putting in a campfire ban or a burning ban inside the district property in Chetwynd, should he decide the condition warrants. And that could happen like tomorrow, like it's windy, it's dry, and there's a lot of fires that have been too close to us and too close to getting out of control. So I would like, if possible, I'd like a resolution from council supporting Chief Golan in initiating a community fire ban if he deems it necessary.
Motion to support Chief Golub should he so choose to initiate a fire ban within Chetwynd boundaries.
Second.
Any other discussion on it? Councillor McDonald?
It has been a very scary year for fires, and so I'm not opposed to this, but I also too want to make sure that the community members' rights are being held to have a fire in their backyard if they so choose. And I'm assuming he won't be making this decision lightly, or at what point, like at what threshold will he be putting this ban out? Is it a certain dryness, is it a certain temperature that, at what point will he? At what point will he put this more?
I understand what you're saying, and that was part of our conversation today, because we do know, summertime is cookout time. Everybody likes to fire in the evening and roastery marshmallows and stuff. He bases it on his experience, and he'll talk with his compatriots like in BC Wildfire and that kind of thing as well. He doesn't do it lightly. He hates to do it. It's a very last gasp measure for him because it creates conflict in the community. If you look at social media right now, there's a considerable number of posts asking why we don't have it already. And there's an equal number of posts saying, don't you dare put one in because it's campfire time. So we understand the division it causes in the community. He won't do it unless he thinks he absolutely should. Unfortunately, every fire in Northeast BC has been caused so far. Some of them have been relatively innocent, but at least one significant one very close to our community was caused from a fire pit and a gust of wind hitting it just the wrong way. So, we're watching the fires all the way around us, and we're just really concerned. And he wants, if it starts getting out of hand, would be the short answer. He wants to be able to implement the fire ban. Giving him the authority helps us because he can put one in really quickly, and if it gets rainy, he can get off. And so we can kind of flow with it a little bit.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, and we depend on our professionals, and that's why we hire professionals to do the job that they do. And when they come here to ask a very serious question, right? So I do agree with what goes on in our community, and I'd hate to see somebody lose some kind of structure because we didn't take steps and look forward instead of saying that, yeah, we should have, could have, whatever, right? So I agree with what we are about to do with giving Chief our support. So any other questions? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, can we? At this time, I'd like to give the public opportunity to ask questions on what we have on our agenda today. State your name and residence.
Lacey Archer. I had a question in regards to the Schedule A financial plan. I noticed in 2027, the transfer from other governments jumped significantly, and I was just curious as to why there's such a large increase.
I will get that with you. Financial officer.
I believe that's an anticipated grants related to the construction of a new fire line. So for us to be able to proceed with the fire hall, we need the grants. That's the recognition of hopefully obtaining.
So these numbers are hopeful, or like how are they projected?
They're budget anticipated numbers, and there's no guarantee that any of them are actually going to materialize to the full amount. It's the plan that's in place now and changes every time we get the possibility of grants or not.
Okay, is there a particular anticipated amount for the fire hall, or is it the full 10 million?
No, the fire hall, I believe, was 6 million. It's a portion of that number.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Not seeing any. Sure. We are adjourned. Thank you, council.
Let's start off with, I guess, the vision that you guys saw by the time you were in council 7 years ago with this building. What was the vision of this building back then?
So back then, the vision was based on the elders and people in community who fantasized about having a building where we could all gather, a big enough space to accommodate everyone and more people, so that we could house bigger events and bring more people together, because the current gym that we have is too small, and because we're growing in population, we needed to expand.
What was it like when you guys decided that, you were going to go ahead and do it? Like, was there excitement? Were people nervous? What was that journey like?
So when the organization came together to talk about the idea becoming a reality, there was a lot of unknowns. Where is the money going to come from? How are we going to fund it? So before the excitement, there was worry and stress, and there was a lot of unanswered questions to make the idea a little uneasy. But over time, the questions started to get answers and then the funding came, and then that's when the excitement came, because now we have a way to navigate to the project.
What would you say was one of the more challenging aspects of building this, making this project a reality?
So the biggest challenge of all, of course, is the budget, because you can plan so much, but then there's always something thrown into the mix where it was unexpected. So then you have to accommodate, the budget and figure out, how do you navigate this cost that we didn't foresee? And so it really did come down to how to manage the money, and we had a good enough contingency that all the outside things that we didn't expect and plan for, it worked out in the end. It all just fell into place and things happened, and we're grateful for that.
Can you give us do you know numbers by any chance, just roughly like total cost of project, and how long did it take to build?
So the build took 3 years, 2-3 years. And the funding came from 2 different pots, 3 different pots. So in total, around 27 million. Can't give an exact number right off the top of my head, but we had enormous help from the federal and provincial governments, and then the nation kicked in some of our dollars to make it all work out.
And when you look at the building here today, what does the building make you feel when you look at it?
Connection. It's all about connection. It makes me feel so happy that we have a place to connect, because that's what this building is all about, is so we can bring people in, we can share, we can eat food together, discuss different things, and connect. Same with Pemmican Days. That's a place to share, to eat together, to have fun, but to connect. And I think this space is going to provide that on so many different levels.
Do you have any special areas of the building that are maybe in your heart a bit of your favorite, or anything that sticks out to
I
you?
do have a favorite room. It's the music room, because you can make magic in a music room. We have a lot of musicians in community, and I think that's a great space to encourage and develop the talent. And so if people want to record, that's an option. They can do that, because that's what the music room does. And I think that's a wonderful element to have in the building, is to be able to have a music program, teach people how to write a song. We have a stage now where they could perform. I think that kind of entertainment is really uplifting, and that adds a whole element of fun. So I think that's my favorite.
And then anything else that you would like to add, or maybe we missed in our conversation?
Anything to add?
Yeah, anything else you'd like to add?
I'm just looking forward to the future, and I'm so excited that all the teams got together to make this happen. And I'm so thrilled, the turnout that we had today. And I'm just really grateful and full of happy emotions, because today is the day that we were waiting for years. When the idea came around 7 years ago and started discussing how are we going to do this, back then it was a dream, and now it's reality. So I'm thrilled. It's exciting.
Mike Forward for Peace FM and Chet TV. And with us once again is Naomi from the Chetwynd Chamber of Commerce. And Naomi, we just finished up the big trade show. How did that go?
We did. It was a huge success. We had sold out both arenas this year, which is absolutely amazing. We haven't been able to do that in many, many years prior to COVID. We did the final count, and our trade show reached approximately 2,500 people. So that's almost the entire population of our town, which is absolutely phenomenal. We had one of our food vendors who came here with 1,000 pounds of potatoes and went home with 200. Actually, they went up to Tumbler Ridge to see if they could do it up there, but the 800 pounds of potatoes in 2.5 days, like that's a lot of fries and gravy. We already have booths booked for next year. We have lots of vendors who have just pre-booked their booths for next year. So if people are wanting to get in for 2026, the dates are March 27th to 29th next year. Little early. I apologize to Chetwynd Minor Hockey. I'm so sorry. I know what a pain in the butt that is for the ice, but those are the dates that I am on the circuit. If you want to book your booths early, you can get a hold of us. You can give me a call, 250-788-3345, or you can email me at manager@chetwyndchamber.ca. Or you can head to our website, our brand new website. I'll get to that in a minute. And you can download the form there when I get it up there. And you can just book now. You don't have to wait if you want your spot. That's awesome. So we really want to thank to our sponsors. We had Pomeroy Inn and Suites, Tim Hortons Co-op, Northern Lights College, Coffee Talk Chetwynd, Ovintiv Events Center, as well as thank you to the amazing crew at the Rec Center. They always come through and they're always so fantastic to work with, and all of our folks that helped out. And IGA for the free popcorn, and Kanuma popped in and helped out, and it was absolutely wonderful. So thank you so much to everybody, and it was an incredibly, incredibly wonderful year. We actually had the trade show Pancake Breakfast make a comeback. It used to be done by a nonprofit society in our community or a larger organization. This year's Don's Diner took it on, and they had like the biggest, fluffiest pancakes. They were like this thick. They were so good, and it was a really big success. So hopefully we get to do that again next year. So yeah, plans are in the work for 2026 for sure.
So what's coming up next now after the trade show's done?
So to tie back into trade show a little bit, we had a little bit of a special going on for grabbing a membership for new members. And over the last month, we have signed up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 new members, 12. I'm waiting for confirmation on 2 more. We would like to welcome to the chamber membership Spice Telecom, DC Carpet Care, Chetwynd Rotary Club, TechSat, Chetwynd Eels, the Chetwynd Youth Soccer Association, Northern Innovation Network, South Peace District Crime Prevention Society, Rain and Tack, Sacred Farewells Death Doula Services, and PB Cleaning 24/7. So we'd like to welcome them to our membership. That pushes us almost up to about 170 members here in our community with the Chetwynd Chamber of Commerce, so we're pretty proud about that. But coming up is our next luncheon is on April 24th from noon to 1 at the Pomeroy, and it's with Vitrio Minerals. They are BC Sand for BC's LNG is their tagline. They are going to be talking about the Angus project, which is just located just out by Bear Lake. Great opportunity to learn more. It's currently in its permitting stage. And you'll be able to find out its impact on the region. Vitrio Minerals was actually in the trade show this year. They were booth number 2, right beside the Chetwynd Chamber of Commerce. And actually, they were our sponsor last year, our presenting sponsor for the Chetwynd Chamber Business Excellence Awards. So, and then in May, on May 21st, we have a workshop and a luncheon with John from the Chetwynd Public Library. He's going to be talking about artificial intelligence and your business. We're going to be doing probably a series of luncheons with him. He has different things to kind of cover and go through on how you can use AI to help you in your business and things to kind of watch out for. People are pretty comfortable with it. They're like, oh, AI can do everything. But AI can definitely do things wrong. So it's a great couple workshops with him. And then in June, we are having a luncheon on June 18th with TechSat. They're going to be talking about the importance of cybersecurity in today's digital world and protecting the information in your business. Given I don't know if everybody's aware, Fort St. John, the city of Fort St. John just had a cyber incident that was troublesome and tough to work through, but they've made it through. But it can happen so easily. We don't think it can. It literally, all you have to do is just click on a wrong link. getting, you know not to click on the link, but you go to reach for your coffee and hit the button and that's it. Like, they're into everything. So those are the 3 luncheons that are coming up. And then we are going to be hosting, we have something that we allow our members to do. It's called Business Made Social. Any business can get a hold of me to kind of just book something in the evening. It doesn't have to be business related. It's just a networking thing. You can invite people into your business, drinks, snacks, door prize, whatever you want to do. People can just come out, meet the people who work there, talk about your business. You can, and again, it doesn't even have to be business related. You can just sit around and relax after a hard day at work. But the Chetwynd Chamber is going to be hosting one shortly because we are just finished our rebranding. So we're going to be we unveiled at trade show our new logo, etc. And we're going to be going through our new website and new look for the Chetwynd Chamber of Commerce. We've been around since 1959, so it was time for a new look. If anybody knows what to do with those old banners, those old pull-up banners, I don't know what you're supposed to do with them. Like, I just feel so bad chucking them in the garbage. Or can you recycle them? I hope I can recycle them. And I also know that people are going to be asking with the federal election coming up about an all candidates forum. So the Tumbler Ridge and Chetwynd Chambers of Commerce, we're trying to work on getting an all candidates forum together here, either in person or virtually. However, much like our colleagues across the province, we are having really hard time securing confirmations from the candidates. So as nonpartisan organizations, both chambers strive to maintain neutrality and fairness, and hosting forums without full candidate participation would unintentionally appear biased, compromise the integrity of the event, and diminish its value to voters. We did release a statement, both Tumbler Ridge and Chetwynd, on our Facebook pages today. We are really trying to get something going. We are not having the best of luck and getting a hold of everybody. So we are committed to supporting a fair and informed democratic process. So we are going to be sharing information about the candidates to our website and to our social media pages so people can get informed. UNBC is hopefully going to be hosting one in Prince George. I'm waiting to hear more information from them. If so, and if they happen to be streaming it, we will share the link so people can jump on there. And I think, who else? Fort Nelson is really trying as well. But again, everybody's having the same problem of having people get back to us. And we get it because it's a short timeline between when the election was called and when everything's happening. So in the meantime, we will try to share as much information as we can. And if anybody has any questions, they are more than welcome to contact us. So yeah, it's been a crazy busy month. And now we're off and running on, I guess the next event will be Harvest Fest in September. It's a busy summer. We have, we don't, but our members, the Chetwynd International Chainsaw Carving Society, their big event is coming up here in June. So that's a big one here in our community. If they're looking for information on that, folks can go check out the website. I know they're looking for some sponsors and some volunteers, so anybody can head out there. And then also Chetwynd Electric Eels is having their AGM coming up. So if anybody's wanting to get involved in their organization, you can head to their Facebook page and find out how you can get involved.
So where can people contact you for any of the things that you talked about?
Any of these, all of these things?
Yeah.
You can pop by our office. We are located in downtown Chetwynd. I always say we're right across from Field's Dollar Store in the old, for the folks who have lived here forever, the old doctor's office. We're at office number 5. There's a couple of businesses in there. Or you can get a hold of me at manager@chetwyndchamber.ca, or you can text 250-788-3345.
And what's your webpage?
Webpage, www.chetwyndchamber.ca. We've done a soft launch of the new website, so if you're on there checking things out and things aren't working right or being a little goofy or you have any questions, let us know. We're going to be fine-tuning the rest of it now for the next couple of weeks, and let us know what you think.
All right, anything else?
I think that's it.
All right, thank you so much, and we'll be talking to you again next month.
You bet.
Thanks.
Thanks.